these are like rabbit's foots, okay? You're gonna rub them and you're gonna hope that you can get them out. But what up, guys? CP the Tool Addict. Woo! As you can see, we have a stupid amount of bolt extractor things out here. We're going to talk about this, and don't expect to see any comparisons where I'm going to be rounding off a bolt and fabricating a scenario, okay? Because A, that's not the honest way to do it. The honest way to do it would be to find something, and I just haven't came across enough stuff recently that I've had to worry about, which I usually do, but the problem today, it is what it is. I don't care what you buy either way. Gear-Wrench doesn't pay me a dime. HB turbo sockets don't pay me a dime. Rocket Socket doesn't pay me a dime. JD Tico doesn't pay me a dime. Matco doesn't pay me a dime. Mac Tools definitely doesn't pay me a dime. In fact, they've cost me more money in my life. And yeah, so with that being said, we're going to start right here with Mac Tools and RPT and RBT. But let's just look at, so RBT, let me get this one here too. Come on, fella. This is, the Gear-Wrench bolt biters have been my go-to. Now, you notice I don't have a full set of Gear-Wrench bolt biters. I'll be honest with you, I haven't needed them. I've honestly been able to get by with everything you see here as a go-to. And that's a lot of shit right here, guys. I'll be honest with you. All this stuff right here is in close to $1,000 retail value, easily. That's no joke, just for bolt removal stuff. And then we're not even getting into drill bits. But let's just look, first of all, let's look at the socket side by side. You know what, let me zoom in here. Let me get rid of the stupid FOR bit that works half the time. Works half the time every time. Let's just zoom in on here and look at the design of these. Enhance. 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 All right. So, I haven't used this one. I've used another one, but I haven't used this 13 millimeter. Foremost, the reason why is because it is far too wide. Out of all of them, it is the fattest, and a 13 millimeter is literally this size a bolt. Now, a couple things I want you to notate here, as far as 13 millimeter. When a nut gets rounded, you know, of course we suspect it to get completely rounded, right? And that's understandable. But sometimes it doesn't get completely rounded. Now, you can beat this in here. That's a 13 millimeter. That's the RBT. And you can beat that in there. And that comes out. I just pushed it in there with my finger. So the fitment's not terrible. Okay. Now we go over here to the Matco hex grip. The fitment is a little bit looser. Okay. Which is not terrible. Now, some would argue that the RBRT is a little bit tighter and that makes a bigger difference. But I have yet to find that, okay? Now, the fitment on the grip, on the Gear-Wrench is equally as tight, if not tighter, than the RBRT. And I will say it is probably tighter. But you know what? I got this nice handy-dandy FOR driver, which I use a punch anyways, like this. This tool right here, this is all I use. Knock them right out. I usually can stick them in a pair of pliers, knock them right out. Whatever. So, that being said, the RPT and the RBRT claim to be tighter tolerances, but that's actually false. And I've actually seen a couple people say, oh, bro, the Gear-Wrench bolt biters are not tighter. Bull-loney. I just showed you straight up.
So now let's take a look at the design.
That is 100% a lie. Now,
the RBRT, and the bolt biter look very, very similar in design. RBRT calling themselves proprietary. The only thing that they really have is the FOR. Other than that, they are pretty much similar.
So you can see it with the nut in there. Now, I'm not getting all sciencey. I know this is way out of control here, but you see here, it just reaches in to grab the flats of the bolt, and that's it. Let me go back to the bolt biter. Now, look at how tight it is on the Gear-Wrench bolt biter. I'm sorry, but if you don't see that the less gaps in that thing, this thing gaps the gap out of that one, out of the RBRT. I'm sorry, but that's a fact. And you know why you never see the RBRT guys compare them against the bolt biters? Is because the bolt biters are really not inferior. And then they talk about bidirectional control. All three of these are bidirectional. Guess who was the last person to come out with bidirectional reversing? So you can put them on and off. That was RBRT. Not Astro Hex, not Astro Flank Bite, which this is the Astro rebranded from Matco Flank Bite. But actually, and then we want to look right here. Look at how aggressive even the Matco is. Once again, bidirectional. And it will take a rounded nut off. I assure you. I promise you that will work just fine for what any of you guys need to do. Most of you guys that are in the South that are buying these things every one of these will work just fine for you. But the problem is with the RPTs and RBRTs, now they've redesigned these a little bit and made them slimmer, but these things are older ones. I have the whole set, absolute garbage. I don't use them, they're worthless. They never fit into anywhere. But that's why I also have HB, let me back this thing up. That's why I also have HB. Did we get zoomed out too far? That's why I have the HB turbo sockets, not to be confused with the rocket sockets. Two different companies. HB Products makes this. Rocket Socket makes these. Both USA made. And the reason I have these is for smaller items. For when you get down to littler bolts. Now this doesn't go down to 13. Smallest this goes to is a 1/2 inch or 10 millimeters, something like that. And that's what I bought them for anyways. So nonetheless, that's all that. Now, also, we have these things, which I think are definitely worth the money from JD Tico. Let's get a 13 millimeter out here. Let's get our 14 millimeter wrench. Come on, CP. Nope, gotta use a 19 millimeter wrench. As far as thin profile goes, these things really take the cake for that. But you look at the biting power of these right here, the grip on them, and they're pretty stout. Now, I haven't used these. I'll be honest with you, I haven't used these yet because, once again, haven't had anything that's triggered my needs for it yet. But this has been an off year for me. But once again, look at the fitment. You can make the judgment call just off the fitment alone, in my opinion, guys. Now, we also have the Capri hex grips versus the RPT wrench. These are 150 bucks, and the grip edge or the Capri, these things work phenomenal. They're exactly the same as the flank bites. That's why I know the Capris work. They did a great job on Project Farm, and that's another reason why I don't need to make a video about this stuff, is because Project Farm's already made it. And I'll be honest with you, if you want to see somebody knock down a bolt, knock down the edges on a standard grade 8 bolt, okay, round off all the edges and take a round one off, every one of these will do it. No problem. You know how I know? Because I tried to do it, and I was like, this is dumb. This is not a good video. It's not a good video. It doesn't depict hate. And the other thing is, when it comes to damaged fasteners, 50% of the time the bolt itself is probably going to break. That's the honest truth, okay? When it comes to removing damaged fasteners, these are like rabbit's foots, okay? You're going to rub them, and you're going to hope that you can get them out. But that doesn't mean you will. So you spend all this money on all these RPTs and RBRT stuff, and then you have thousands of dollars of, like, you have this amount of crap like I do, which is way overkill. There's probably some I could get rid of and be fine. But nonetheless, you don't understand. When you need this stuff, it's definitely life-saving stuff. So it could pay for itself, but all the RBRT stuff, RPT stuff, definitely won't. The only thing I like from RBRT is the hex sockets, which I use. The Allens and the Torx are the only things that I will stand behind and say they work fantastic. Everything else, pretty subjective, pretty much trash in my opinion. Just all salesmen trying to reinvent the wheel. Clearly, you can see a lot of this stuff has been out for years. Flank Bite has been out for a long time, Astro Flank Bites, but the comment generator, CP, you didn't show it. Well, of course I didn't, because I want to show it on an actual damaged fastener, not someplace down in Florida where there's literally minimal rust something that's crusty, that's north of the Mason-Dixon line, that's been chewed up by actual salt and nastiness, and show you a real scenario. And I just haven't had those come up because most of the stuff is rusting in pieces now. I'm not going to lie to you. We've had more shit here that's broken in half. So, anyways, guys, that's the video for you. Hope you like it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Ring that bell. Remember, keep your hands dirty and your money clean. Thanks for watching.